fabulous 256. Welcome to another vlog. So, last week I didn't post because, my family did an early Easter gathering thing. So that was on Saturday. And I just did not really have time to film for this vlog. So, also didn't have time to edit. And that's that. But anyway, we're back this week. Tomorrow's Earth Day. And a couple weeks ago, I went to FanFest. It's kind of like Comic-Con, but it's more local to me. It's hosted by our local library. There are vendors. There are different activities we could do. So I made a little magnet with Spider-Man on it. The library was supposed to call me about picking that up, but I did not receive any calls. So, I don't know. I may not get that. I'm just not sure. But anyway, one of the vendors gave me this. She found out I was a YouTuber and asked for a shout out. But anyway, while we're on the topic, this is from Studio X, Georgia. And Ramos Studios. That's how it is on Facebook. That's the listing. Here's the little card that she gave me. And I'm going to be using this as part of my Halloween costume this year. Because I've done a lot of fairy costumes, but I haven't done Rosetta yet. So I'm going to do her, and I'm going to use this little flower because she's a garden fairy. And she wears pink. And I think maybe red. But anyway, I thought this would work for that. But what else? Oh, I was going to show you the footage from FanFest. While you're not seeing it in real time, I do have footage. They had a thing where you could learn medieval dancing, and I did some of the dances. And we filmed some of that. So I'm going to show you those clips. And also, I think that's the only footage I got because the majority of the performances that I really wanted to see, we missed. And also the first performance that I really wanted to see, which was Seussical, was actually, it was them singing the songs from the movie. And one person maybe had a Cat in the hat on. It was not the big production that I was thinking it was going to be. And that's that. We missed the stilt walking performance, but I did get a picture of the stilt walker. She was still there for photo ops. So I got a picture with her, which I'll insert in here at some point. But before I show you the footage from FanFest and the photos of my costume and any other photos that I may have gotten at FanFest, I'm going to show you what I've been working on crochet-wise. So this is going to be a mesh blanket. This is for a friend of mine. And I'm also working on a market bag. Now, the colors of it, to me, like, it's kind of given pink lemonade to me. Yeah, so this is the market bag so far. And it's a little um, crumbled up, but it'll turn out fine. And yeah, those are my 2 crochet projects that I'm working on. And I'm gonna go shopping today. I might look for a blender on clearance because, yeah, when I moved out of mom's, well, my blender was broken. So, yeah. I'm gonna see what I can find. And I'm also gonna be looking for some tags for my market bags and hats and things that I make for the fall season for markets. And yeah, so yeah, just a minute. As I was saying, I got a brand new display and my pricing signs are about this big. And the display is just really tall, and which is fantastic. But I feel like this size of sign is going to be kind of hard to read on the larger display. So I'm going to try to find some tags and put the price on those so that people can actually see the price when I use the new display. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. And not sure what else. And yeah, my friend will be here to get me in a little bit. We're gonna go shopping. And yeah, I'm gonna look for the things that I said I was gonna look for. And not sure what he's looking for. Or if he'd, well, let's be real. He probably just wants to hang out with me. Because he usually is not the kind of person that buys a ton of stuff while we're out. But we shall see. And I may come home. I may come home with nothing. It just depends on if I find what I'm looking for or not. Also, you may have noticed that I have my pink hair extensions in. I haven't worn these in like at least 4 years. And that's because they were on clips. And clips like these or this don't really stay in my hair. So what I did last night was I took them apart and I put them on hair ties so I could actually wear them. And yeah, that is all for now. Maybe we'll vlog a little bit later while we're going shopping. I think, yeah, there's a shopping complex kind of near us. But we also might go to Target. So, I'll keep you guys updated on where we go and what I buy. And I will see you guys in a little bit. welcome to another vlog clip. So I just got the shelf for the yarn in the house. I'm gonna start putting my yarn on it in just a little bit. Definitely gonna try to do a time lapse of that. I'm not sure how that's gonna work or if I can even get a good angle, but I'm gonna try. Have a lot of yarn to put on there. And yeah, not really sure how I'm gonna organize it. So my cart has 3 shelves, and this is a shelf from my childhood that I'm repurposing as a yarn shelf. So yeah, but I will be going from having 3 shelves to technically 5. So cool. Now I have 3 different categories of yarn that I'm gonna be organizing my yarn into. Wool and acrylic, cotton, and miscellaneous. So yeah. That's my 3 categories. I don't organize my yarn by color, just by type. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm just not sure what the order is gonna be, but we'll figure that out. Anyway, I'm gonna go get things, together, organized somewhat. And then I'm gonna do a time lapse of putting everything on the shelf. Hello again. So this is our final vlog clip, or this vlog. Here's what happened today. I got a few packages. I ordered some crystals to help weigh down some of my things for the next market. I'll show those to you probably in the next vlog, because why would I not? And then another one that I got, it was supposed to be a stand for the iPad that I use at the markets, so that I just have a stand to put it on. And well, it wasn't the right one. It was more for a phone. But anyway, I'm getting ready for bed right now, and yeah, I'm only waiting on one more package, which is the hooks for my brand new display. And I also found a new show to watch. It's called The Bisexual. It's on Hulu, and I just started watching that today. So far I like it. Okay. Although there are some comments made by characters that are questionable. Anyway, that's it for this vlog. Hope you liked it. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, if you want, you can check out my links in the description or by scanning the QR code at the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and above all else, stay fabulous. Bye!
Taking shots at the enemy, I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything. I pop off with the new rock, electric